Tonight on Connecticut's news station, students still protesting on college campuses. Their demands growing louder. More protesters arrested. We'll have a live report from Stores.
Plus some rain moving through tonight, even some thunder happening in spots right now. We'll have the latest with live radar and what it means for tomorrow.
A search for an armed and dangerous woman in Stratford has been called off. We're getting an update from police who've been on the lookout for a woman who allegedly robbed a local inn at gunpoint.
Now at 10, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
And we begin tonight with the ever-growing student protests on college campuses across our state, decrying the war in Gaza and demanding their universities divest from companies that they say are fueling that war. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. A lot of new developments out of Yale and Yukon. In New Haven, the day started with police taking down an encampment on cross campus.
And a similar story in Stores, but officials didn't stop at clearing tents there. They also arrested 24 students and at least one alumnus. Today marked day 5 of protests, and protesters we spoke to vow it will not be the last.
Fox 61's Jake Garcia has been on campus all evening. He has details tonight on what the group plans to do next and how their peers are reacting to the protests. Jake.
Well, Brent and Sarah, the campus relatively calm here tonight. The only evidence that remains of this morning's events is this rock behind me, painted with the message, "Hands off our students." That was changed just shortly after 25 people were arrested for refusing to dismantle an encampment on campus, calling for the university to disclose and divest from military weapon manufacturers amid unrest in Gaza. Early Tuesday morning, Yukon police began giving students the final warnings to leave their encampment or be arrested. On Friday, the university told students tents were not allowed. Those students built an encampment the following weekend. Students with the group Yukon Divest believe the university enacted the rule to target their protest.
There's been a history of other encampments at, for instance, some of the basketball games, and those haven't been shut down. So students chose to remain. After the final warning, Yukon police began clearing the encampment, arresting 24 students and one former student, charging most of them with criminal trespassing and disorderly conduct.
Me with the coalition of faculty are strongly advocating for to have the charges dropped. And, especially concerned about the access that these students will have to the university. We do not want punishment at the university level.
A university spokesperson said they could not confirm or discuss potential disciplinary actions against the students arrested. Just after 5:30 Tuesday afternoon, all who were arrested were released. A student protester said they were taking the night to rest, and while no future protests are planned yet, they're not done taking a stand.
The arrests aren't going to stop us from speaking out and making sure our voices are being heard. We really want the university to be aware of our stance and that we're not going to be dissuaded from any sort of actions that might seem threatening to us.
Some Jewish students on campus say they're happy with the university's actions, saying they wish it happened sooner.
Not really sure why it took them so long to enforce the rule that they had set in place 3 days ago, but it seems like it's all been handled well, and hopefully campuses around the country can sort of follow the same course of action that we've had here.
With finals this week and commencement just around the corner, student protesters say they might continue protesting even after the semester ends.
Protests like this aren't really dictated by the times that they're in. Again, not really sure if there's any solid plans, but we're not going to stop even if there's finals, if there's graduation, anything like that.
Now, the 25 people who were arrested today are expected to appear in Rockville Superior Court over the next few weeks. If they do not show up to court, they'll face a $1,000 fine. Reporting live in Stores, Jake Garcia, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Thank you, Jake. And we have developing news out of Manhattan tonight, where just a few minutes ago, Columbia University issued a shelter-in-place order as a large number of police officers in riot gear began entering campus. This is a look from just outside the university in New York. You can see the officers standing in formation against a sea of pro-Palestine protesters. We're told numerous protesters were detained with zip ties and taken away in police buses. It's just the latest development in what has been a chaotic day on the Ivy League campus. Student protesters went from occupying the lawn to occupying Hamilton Hall, one of the school's academic buildings. Some were caught on camera breaking through glass doors and later lifting supplies through a window. Those students will likely be suspended, and Columbia has even threatened to expel them. We're continuing to monitor the situation in New York and will provide updates as we learn more.
Time for a check on the forecast. Another chilly, soggy night.
And that's all ahead of what's shaping up to be a nice day tomorrow, which is something to look forward to. Here's meteorologist Ryan Breton with the details. Ryan?
Brent and Sarah, the timing of the rain pretty much in our favor. Most of it coming overnight. You can see there was a line of thunderstorms to the west. In general, that has been weakening, but we actually have some rumbles of thunder in Connecticut right now. Light rain over northern areas, but a couple of heavier downpours with some thunder and lightning going through the Naugatuck Valley, Seymour, Oxford, up to Middlebury and Waterbury, and putting the tracker on this. It's moving at about 35 to 40 miles per hour. So Waterbury within the next 10 minutes, Wolcott, Cheshire, Bristol may hear a rumble of thunder by about 10:30. Most of this action is moving along, though, and it'll be over the next few hours that it passes through. You can see by 2 in the morning, just down to a few showers, and then as you wake up and start to head out the door, most of us are dry. There could be a lingering shower, just a lot of clouds out there tomorrow morning. So here's the planner for tomorrow. A bit of a gray start, then some sunshine develops midday into the afternoon. Inland areas get close to 70. There could be an isolated sprinkle or shower tomorrow evening, but most of the day tomorrow ends up being dry. We'll talk about the rest of the week and the all-important weekend forecast too, coming up.
All right, Ryan, thank you. Police have given the all clear at the state capitol after a threat was made this afternoon. The state capitol building and the legislative office building went into lockdown after the threat was phoned in earlier today. Hartford police got the call from someone who claimed to be outside the capitol with a rifle and explosives with the intention of killing everyone. Officers swept the Capitol grounds high and low for any suspicious activity or any potential explosives, but found nothing.
An update now. Police say they've arrested a woman who escaped from their custody. 37-year-old Brittany Rondeau was described as armed and dangerous. She was linked to an armed robbery last month. She allegedly stole cash from the Stratford Motor Inn, holding an employee at gunpoint. Police confirm Rondeau's behind bars tonight, but they're not saying where she was arrested.
The Farmington house, formerly owned by Fotis Dulos, is back on the market. Realtor.com shows the house at 4 Jefferson Crossing is listing for $3.2 million. The 10,000 square foot house was built in 2011. It became a focal point in the police investigation after Dulos' wife, Jennifer, went missing in May of 2019.
A bill being debated right now in Hartford would force homeowners to switch from gas heating to electric heat. It's part of a climate omnibus bill. The Connecticut Energy Marketers Association says a little more than half the people in our state are using low carbon heating fuel. They say the bill would devastate low and middle income families by creating a utility mega monopoly and eliminating choice.
Going all electric would come at a great expense in addition to already paying the highest electric rates in the nation.
Chris Herb has asked lawmakers to include SEMA, which is a heating oil supplier, and their customers in the bill, so they have choices on who they want to heat their homes.
Well, now to an inspiring story that just goes to show that everyday heroes walk among us.
Yeah, a team of barbers in East Hartford are being hailed as those heroes. They're being praised for their quick thinking. They likely saved a little girl's life. The whole thing was caught on camera.
Fox 61's Matt Karen has the story for us.
Since their inception, Main Street barbershops just like this one have been an institutional pillar of small-town America. And the barbers who work inside, well, they're the heartbeat of the community. For weeks, it's been the buzz around town.
It's my community. As a barber, I came here to serve my community.
Not all heroes wear capes.
I'm glad that there's people here to watch after our community.
Osvaldo Lugo puts them on other people.
The word hero for me is kind of too big to handle. I think what I did is what any dad would have done.
April 10th, it was a typical Wednesday at the Look Sharp barbershop in East Hartford, until it wasn't.
I just didn't think about it, and next thing I know, I was running.
Osvaldo and his colleague Rafael Santana saw a little girl out their shop window, alone, running toward the busy Main Street intersection. Their actions caught on camera, sprinting to catch up to her.
As soon as I picked her up, she was just saying, "Mommy, mommy, mom, mommy, mommy."
Osvaldo eventually found the little girl's mother here at this bus stop, where she lost track of her for just a second, the two sharing an emotional parent-to-parent connection.
The mom just said thank you, but it was a moment of silence, but it was a beautiful silence, because the way she looked at me, I could tell that she was thankful, embarrassed at the same time.
For Osvaldo, it was a moment of personal redemption. He spent years behind bars, absent from the lives of his 3 little girls.
I never had the opportunity to be there for my kids. I just went into that mode.
Thank God he was there and was paying attention, because I could only imagine if that was my little girl, I would have lost it.
Osvaldo and Rafael's actions caught the attention of East Hartford police, who said, thanks to them, a family remains whole. Thankfully, we'll never know what may have happened if Osvaldo and Rafael weren't doing their jobs.
I had clients in my chair, so in the back of my head, I'm like, get back to work.
And it's worth noting, prior to rescuing that little girl, Osvaldo was a finalist for our Fox 61 Impact Award last November as an unsung hero for his work in the community with formerly incarcerated individuals. Reporting in East Hartford, Matt Caron, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.